Hi. On today's episode of Explore, we're visiting Backbone Rock Recreation Area in Cherokee National Forest near Damascus, Virginia. Holston Mountain is actually a long ridge with spur ridges that appear along its length. Backbone Rock is one of those ridges. It extends southeast from Holston Mountain and ends abruptly at a sharp bend at Beaver Dam Creek in Johnson County, Tennessee. To get there from Damascus, Virginia, take State Route 133 south for just over 3 miles, and you will travel under the world's shortest railway tunnel, except there's now a highway going through the rock, not a railroad. So this is the tunnel. It was originally built in 1901 because this particularly formidable piece of rock here was too tall to tear down and too wide to go around. They drilled the tunnel, later enlarging it by hand in order to allow the train traffic to carry timber to market. The original hole that was blasted through the ridge was not very wide, and the small excavation at the top of the arch was just tall enough to clear the tall smokestacks of the steam engines. The railroad was not the normal gauge of 4 feet 8.5 inches, but narrow gauge of 3 feet wide, a full 20 inches narrower than a normal train. So as the timber trade diminished in the area, the rail became a roadway of sorts for local trucks, which because of the narrow gauge could straddle the tracks. Then in 1933, the county decided to pave the roadbed and designated Highway 133. A 2-lane highway is much wider than a narrow gauge railroad, so the shortest tunnel in the world was widened. This has been a recreation area for a long time. In the 1930s, the Civilian Conservation Corps developed the area for day use, constructing 2 picnic shelters and hiking trails that incorporated native stonework. This old stone floor was located right at the bend in Beaver Dam Creek, where you are looking straight up Backbone Rock. And this is the end of the path. You can't hike around Backbone Rock without getting your feet wet. Across the highway from the parking area and a short hike up a steep trail is Backbone Falls. So here we are at Backbone Falls. It looks like about a 40 or 50 foot drop. It's a short walk from the parking area, but it's steep and a little bit tricky, so use caution. The falls are a small stream that plummets about 40 feet down into the small canyon that it has carved through the ages. It is a quiet, peaceful place. You don't need to walk back to the top of the falls to get back to the parking area. There are stairs that take you back down to the highway. Back at the parking area, there is a public toilet and a steep climb up to the top of Backbone Rock. There are footbridges and a well-marked trail along the top of the rock. There are safety rails installed in some areas, but in other areas, getting too close to the edge could be very dangerous. It's not uncommon to see people rappelling from the rock or climbing up it. They're usually in groups with instructors. There are no regulations limiting the sports, other than it's not permitted over the roadway. We were there on a nice early spring day. There were several visitors to the recreation area.
Well, actually, we were just riding through on our way to Damascus, and it's been 4 or 5 years since we've stopped here. And we thought we'd walk across the rock, kind of watch your footing. It's kind of a narrow path across. There is some guardrails, but not everywhere.
Stop here to take a hike or a picnic lunch or something. It's a nice area. It's quiet and peaceful.
And then there's Zach, who we met on top of the ridge.
It's a good view and I'm getting a little dizzy, but not too much. I can only go on a park ladder that's really my size.
About a quarter of a mile down 133 towards Damascus, there's a small campground with restrooms and a pavilion located along Beaver Dam Creek. The campground was added in the 1960s and rehabilitated in the mid-90s. Camping spots and both pavilions need to be reserved, so be sure to check www.recreation.gov to reserve a spot. It seems that everywhere we look, we see incredible beauty, and little roadside recreation areas like Backbone Rock give us a clean and safe place to enjoy the great outdoors.
Well, I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Explore at Backbone Rock. Do yourself a favor, grab the kids, get the dogs, get out and enjoy nature in this beautiful area that we call home.